This episode of Club Random is sponsored by ZipRecruiter. The future of hiring looks a lot brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools actually speed up the process of finding the right people. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/random right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/random. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Club Random is sponsored by True Classic. Men's fashion isn't complicated. It's t-shirts. And yet somehow companies make it either ridiculously overpriced or so cheap it dissolves in the dryer. True Classic actually fixed this. Premium shirts that fit, feel great, and don't cost more than dinner for two. And clearly, people notice. You can find them at Amazon, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, or head to trueclassic.com/random to try them out for yourself. Rula makes mental health care actually accessible. They take most major insurance, and the average copay is just $15 a session. 15. That's less than parking in LA. And therapy lasts longer than a meter. With Rula, you answer a few questions, they match you with a licensed in-network provider, and you can meet as soon as the next day. Go to rula.com/random and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares.
So what's the worst part? He goes, I had to buy the whole village that went with the castle. Because I looked.
Are you serious?
A rock star, Bill. We look at these things.
Bill.
Here I am in your house again.
How are you?
Hi, Bill. You looking trim, Bill.
I actually never changed, but...
I know, you look like you lost weight.
I did not.
Really?
I'm telling you,
It's just my memory.
If I kept losing all the weight people say I keep losing, I'd be like 100 pounds. No, I'm always within a pound or two.
Did you ever gain weight? Were you ever plump?
Yeah, I was plumpish, yes. I would say like late 20s. I have pictures of me like on my first sitcom. And yes, my face was a lot fuller. And it's like, this was before I really even gave a thought to what constituted being healthy. Because before that, I was poor. So when you're poor, you just eat whatever shit food.
Sure.
And you're in your 20s. You don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was, the older, I mean, it's paradoxical, but I really feel like the older I get in some ways, of course, not every way you can't, but I'm healthier. I mean, I get way less like colds and flu. I used to get that every year because I drank more. I ate shit food, didn't get proper rest. You know, you take better care of yourself, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Because we occasionally share the same makeup people.
You and I?
Well, because our production worlds cross occasionally. You don't know this. I'm just telling you now.
I don't know. We do, really? We do?
Occasionally. Wow. It might be somebody who used to work with you, or... maybe it's just because there's some crossover.
Are you talking about your podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think I had a hand in your...
You did.
Yes, and I'm very proud of it because you're very good at it.
Oh, thank you. But my point is I was going to talk about your skin because...
Oh, this is a little weird, Mrs. Robinson. This conversation is getting a little weird.
Well, Bill, I mean, your skin looks so good. So I appreciate I'm always back channeling, trying to figure out what you do for your skin routine. I won't reveal the secrets I've learned.
Well, you know, everything is made in the kitchen, I believe.
I heard that.
You know, that's the old saying, my abs are made in the kitchen, but it's not just abs. You know, it's really what you put in your body. I mean, I was ranting about Kennedy last week. He finally went too far with me, and I was so wanting to be with him for his quest to relook at how we just, in the macro, look at health in America. And I think he's right about so many things. And certainly one of them would be, I mentioned this on the show, I never had a Western doctor, no matter what was wrong with me, ever said to me, and what do you eat?
Right.
As if that shouldn't be like number one on the questionnaire about whatever's going wrong with you, that's going to have some input into it.
How can it not?
And how could it not? But that's just not on the chart of Western medicine, maybe more now. So I was hopeful that he would that kind of thinking and not the crazy part, but the crazy part he couldn't resist. And so
yeah. We're in crazy time part.
Well, look, I might drink a little more than usual today because, I don't know when this is airing, but this is a shit day because a guy who sat there, Charlie Kirk, got shot today.
Yeah.
And I can't stop thinking about it.
Neither can I.
And we shouldn't. And if you're on the other side of the political divide and you don't care because the wrong team guy got shot, fuck you. You're what's wrong with this country.
I love when our country can yell, scream, point, cajole, mock. Anything past that, I just can't. I can't.
Right. No, I have, well, I'm going to be all over this Friday night on my show, of course, but just the fight I have been having with the left, while I'm, of course, the irony, as a lot of people in my position, is still a liberal, just a traditional liberal, won't go along with their, like a lot of the stuff that's just crazy out there too far, which gets Trump elected, blah, blah, blah. As I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Took me a second. Sorry, I had to absorb that.
Okay. They're the people who don't want to talk. It's my main issue with them. And Charlie Kirk was a guy who, he was always talking. And I talked to him here. The right-wingers say what you want about them, but they talk to you. They're not into this leftist think. The left really has much more of I don't talk to you, I don't want to deal with you, you're deplorable, I can't break bread with you.
Yeah.
That attitude, and all the right-wingers, they don't have that attitude. No, again, I didn't vote for them. And Charlie Kirk and I certainly don't agree on much politically. But he sat here, he's a human being, he's not a monster.
And a husband and a father.
Yes, and I liked him. I liked them all. They're all nice people when you meet them in person, and they're not as crazy as nobody's as crazy as they make them out to be. And we're never going to solve this unless it begins with both sides agreeing we both do it. The right absolutely is full of...
Well, violence has to be off the table. It's just...
Right.
It can't be, in this instance, or... I can't, you just can't. And maybe people aren't sophisticated enough because they don't really know the world. And I'm not just talking historically. I mean, the world, it's a complicated world. And if you've traveled at all, you become grossly aware of how different the world is outside of America. And if you've been anywhere where sectarian violence has been part and parcel of the history, that stuff doesn't go away on one election cycle. You're talking to people who it's going back hundreds of years.
Sarajevo.
Sure. I mean, a guy works for me who's literally in America because he had members of his family murdered during that whole, that, I don't even know what you call it because we tried not to call it a war. But I'm saying
the Balkan Wars.
Sure, but I'm saying don't forget the propaganda of the time.
But I mean, in the 90s, you mentioned sectarian. Okay. Sarajevo, when it was Yugoslavia, was a city of Muslims and Christians. It was in the it hosted the Winter Olympics, and 8 years later, people were getting shot when they went out to get milk because there were snipers.
Yeah,
it is not crazy to think that something similar could happen here. I mean, people have been talking for a while about a low-grade civil war. This is what it means to start one. And like I said, both sides, you mentioned political violence. At the State of the Union, Biden's last one, he said political violence has no place in our society, something like that. And the Democrats all stood and clapped, and the Republicans sat there like, and it's like, really? You can't applaud for that, you fucking assholes? And again, unless we start with both sides, the Luigi Mangionis, which is like, I hope this isn't becoming like a copycat thing. Like, oh, this is cool.
That's why I think we need to say culturally, societally, left, right, American, don't care, ambivalent. Political violence has to be off the table. It cannot be an instrument to achieve goal. It just can't. It can't be rationalized. It can't be asterisked. It just can't. It just can't, because what we have is so rare. And both of us are the beneficiaries of a free market system. And that free market system is not fair to everyone.
And free speech system.
Well, that's always been my biggest thing. Anytime I've ever stepped in the political arena, and it's been very, very brief, I've always made the same point. As an artist, if I don't stand for free speech, I mean, what do I stand for? Because invariably, somebody's going to stand up and say, you can't say that, you can't sing that, right?
And we do have limits, as we should, which is something that is directly threatening to, specifically to a person, or inciting violence very specifically. Of course, and we do, that is already in our canon. But
it's like when you have kids and you say to your kids, like, they want to argue a point, you go, yeah, but you know what you did was wrong. Okay, so I think most people understand where the line is. They want to pretend that they forgot it. Or
do kids know what they do is wrong? I mean,
my children do.
Really? How do they know? Because they're kids.
Because they just know. No,
really?
No, I'm saying, I'm making a very simple point.
But I'm really asking because I don't have kids, and I feel like kids, being kids, who are, you're not born knowing anything, so you kind of have to learn it. I feel like kids are feral, and
well, Bill,
what?
Well, you don't have kids. I'm saying is I don't think they're as feral as you think they are.
From when I am out in public,
yes,
and like many times over the years, like going into a hotel, say,
yeah,
and there will be kids that are coming through in the lobby or something, or when you're going up to your room in the hallway. No, they're feral. They are absolutely feral, and they also are born without any sense of right and wrong. Did you ever read Lord of the Flies?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, Lord of the Flies, great book. And it's about kids who, what are they, on a desert island or something? And it just shows how feral they are and atavistic, and how awful they are to each other, because you have to be taught to be a good person.
I don't totally agree with you if you want to.
Well, tell me.
Okay. My sense of it is, and I go back to my own relationship to myself as a child, which was complicated, but what I try to talk to my kids about was, when you did that, did you feel good or did you feel bad? And that's what I mean about a sort of innate sense of right or wrong. Like they know deep down that even no matter how they justify their behavior, and oftentimes they have a good, he stole my toy, that type of thing. But deep down they admit that they don't feel good about what they did. And I think that to me is the delineating point that says on some level humans are hardwired to have some innate moral sense. That's just my take.
Then why are so many of them incorrigible schmucks? Why is there so much evil in the world? Why is there so much crime? Why is there so much merciless activity wrought by one human being onto another? Man's inhumanity to man, we all know that phrase. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to default to, there are systems in place that want to exploit human decency. In essence, if you can separate a human from their own decency, well, there's a lot of money to be made. Porn is a perfect example.
Porn?
Sure.
What is evil about that?
I'm not saying it's evil.
Oh.
I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's evil. What I'm saying is porn on some level requires a disassociative frame of mind to enjoy it.
I hope so, if you're doing it right. That's it. Well, go into that further, if you would, from your disassociative frame of mind.
Okay, next time, not that you would ever watch porn. I don't watch porn.
Every day.
okay, God bless.
Yeah.
I don't watch porn. I don't believe in watching porn.
Really?
And no judge.
And I'm not judging, and
I'm not judging in reverse.
and if you did, I wouldn't care. You can judge me all you want.
Next time you're masturbating in front of a porno bill, I hope I don't enter your mind. That's kind of what I'm saying.
You will not. You definitely will not, unless you show up in the video, which I'm not expecting.
Well, maybe somebody will look like me, and it reminds you of me.
With AI, they could absolutely. I mean,
anyway, back to my point, Bill.
Billy with MILF
Yes.
and stepson.
Yeah.
That.
I guess I'd be a BILF, right?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. Point being is that next time you're watching porn is a thought experiment. If you'd like to try this, okay? And
Sure.
I'm going to assume, for the sake of this thought experiment, that
Hey, when I have my dick in my hand, I'm all about the thought experiments.
Okay. And I'm not saying you like young women, Bill, but let's say you're watching okay.
Again, no shame there. I'm not shamed at that either.
Okay, so you're watching a young woman in flagrante. And she...
I don't watch Italian porn. No, I'm kidding. In flagrante, yes. You're so erudite, Bill. It's what I love about you. You
God
are.
bless, Bill.
You're very erudite.
So you're watching a porn with a young woman, and it doesn't matter what's happening. It's just she's involved on some level.
On some level. I fucking hope so. If not, it's gay porn.
In Billy's thought experiment, okay, stop for a moment if you can.
Yes.
If you're not so caught up in passion.
I'm so into this now. I want to hear this so badly.
Stop and think that that's somebody's daughter.
That's so funny. Do I know this person? In other words, is it a person I know and it's their daughter?
No, I'm saying
okay, then I'm good. And maybe even if I do, I don't know. But that's sorry about the spit take, but not my first one here. Is that really what's going through your mind?
Yes.
But how does me, a world away, in front of a computer with my dick in my hand, how does this affect the daughter in any way? And by the way, why is it such a horrible...
Because my point was, it requires a level of disassociation. In essence, you have to, on some level, disassociate that this is a human being who may or may not be in that position for all the wrong reasons. Maybe it's all the right reasons. I'm friends with a very famous porn star who did it purposely, intentionally, and is not damaged by it.
Right.
And is totally fine with it.
Yes. Porn stars are nymphomaniacs.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Generally speaking. They really like sex and like to do it a lot. I mean, it's not...
But by that classification, then you're a porn star.
I could have been. I may have missed my calling. I've thought of that many times.
You got the frame for it.
Well, let's not tip our mitt too much. But
I mean, I've heard from women that it's usually the skinny guys that are packing the Sinatra heat.
Okay. It's just unseemly to ever talk about your dick, so I'm not going to start.
But is this the first time you've ever talked about your penis on your show?
No, but one of my ex-girlfriends once talked about it on Howard Stern.
Really?
Yes, and I loved it because she blew his mind.
Okay, good. I have to find that clip.
Yeah, you'll have to find that clip. Anyway, first of all, I don't think porn necessarily is something that is... harmful to the people who are doing it, as they say.
I mean, involved in the actual...
What I'm amazed when I do go on Pornhub to find is that it seems like there is a literally inexhaustible number of women who are doing it. It looks, if you just go on Pornhub and keep scrolling and scrolling, it looks like every woman in America under 35 years old is doing porn. I mean, it is just a lot.
I don't know if this is accurate, but this is like sort of anecdotal. I heard somebody talking recently. They were saying with the numbers on OnlyFans that they estimate that 1.4% of the population of the United States is now doing porn. Porn.
Yes, that sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, and when you look, if you parse that down to like what percentage of the population, okay, half of them are not women, so yes, there are some male porn stars. And by the way, kudos to them, because like a male porn star, what a brilliant idea. A guy who says, you know what, they're gonna make porn and they're gonna need a real dick. They're going to need somebody's dick to get sucked all day long by hot chicks. I could do that job. I mean, I must say, there is a part of me that says, wow, I wish I had that kind of confidence. But anyway.
Well, it's, like it's a short step from there to comedy, you see.
Yeah. The problem is, the people who watch it do get addicted. There is a real issue here.
So we're going the right way. At least
there is definitely an issue. I'm always been on the page, at least of the look. I never even saw it on the computer until about, I would say, 5 or 6 years ago. I was a guy who grew up with magazines, and I was afraid to look at it because I was like, oh, what if they get a cookie in here, and what if they know what I'm doing, and what if they're really watching me? And well, I got over that. But the people not our age who grew up on it, they do become addicted, and it is not benign. I don't think the kids watch it in the same way I do. Like, I don't almost ever see the man in the porn video. Usually it's a girl who comes out and does sexy stuff direct to camera and for 5 or 10 minutes, and then a guy comes in. Well, I don't need the guy. I'm the guy. Okay? Like once the guy comes in, I don't actually like to watch them fucking and sucking. I just like to see them being sexy.
Oh, I see.
So like that's very far from kids who like at 12 years old, they've seen a team of Japanese men have, bukkake with.
Have you heard the thing where, and again, it's anecdotal, but I've heard these things that young men, they've consumed so much porn by the time they hit their late teens, early 20s, they literally can't have normal sex with the woman.
Right.
Because they're so, and I have talked to young women who have complained that they get into relationships with guys, and if unless the guy's having sort of, let's call it, very edgy sex.
Right.
He can't.
And that's what is not benign about porn. And that's, again, something that I don't even want to watch, is that it's kind of rapey. It's, it's gross. There's a lot of spitting and coming on the face and ass fucking, things that I'm not.
So you just like the sexy part.
I'm not interested. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, here's the thing about sex. It's very sexy. And I just don't see the need to dress it up with all. And if you have to, I just think you're doing it wrong. If you're using devices, if you're using food, food should not be involved in sex at all. I find it disgusting just to eat before you have sex. I always think you should have the sex first and then dinner. Okay. It's just wrong to do it the other way because you eat, you're bloated, you're farty, your breath stinks. But actually involving food, I just don't understand. Or wigs, or fucking I'm a pirate and you're a schoolgirl. No, I just don't. I mean, if you just fuck, just learn how to fuck right, and there's enough enjoyment in that. There you go, kids. Advice from Bill. But you're not wrong that porn is not a harmless endeavor.
Right. That's kind of my point. If you don't have a judgmental thing, which I don't have a judgmental thing, it's like,
but I don't think
let's be transparent about that.
Right. This episode of Club Random is sponsored by ZipRecruiter. Hiring is exhausting. You post a job and suddenly you're drowning in resumes. Well, the future of hiring looks a lot brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools actually speed up the process of finding the right people, which means you save time and maybe even your sanity. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/random. Look, I've worked with a lot of people over the years, some good and some actually downright quite terrible. So be smart from the start and use ZipRecruiter to build your dream team. With ZipRecruiter, you can connect with qualified candidates in minutes. See someone who looks perfect? Unlock their contact info instantly. And with over 320,000 new resumes added every month, you're not stuck fishing in the same sad pond. So use ZipRecruiter and save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/random right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/random. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Club Random is sponsored by True Classic. Men's fashion isn't complicated. It's t-shirts. And yet somehow companies make it either ridiculously overpriced or so cheap it dissolves in the dryer. True Classic actually fixed this. Premium shirts that fit, feel great, and don't cost more than dinner for two. And clearly, people noticed. They've sold over 25 million shirts to 5 million customers with 200,000 five-star reviews. That's not a marketing spin. That's men everywhere finally admitting, fine, I'll wear a shirt that fits. It's no secret that I always look good, but now my staff does too, and part of the reason is True Classic. The shirts are tailored where you want, relaxed where you need, no stiff fabric, no bunching, no nonsense. Just a clean fit. So skip the overpriced designer scam, skip the cheap throwaway junk. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. You can find them at Amazon, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, or head to trueclassic.com/random to try them out for yourself. But I don't think the women who are doing it are being exploited terribly much. They want to do it. I'm sure they could and should pay them more.
Well, the dark side of porn is there's a lot of prostitution that goes on around the edges to make the money.
Well, as someone once pointed out, if you fuck somebody and they give you money, you're a prostitute and you get arrested. But if they fuck somebody and they give you money, but there was a camera there, you're a porn star.
I see. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little weird that just because there's a camera there, that makes it legal.
Okay.
But I think both should be legal.
All right.
You don't think prostitution should be?
I don't really have an opinion. I'm sort of gotten bored with the whole libertarian movement. At some point, it seems to not live in reality. But generally speaking, I believe in a free society.
Well, excuse me, but not thinking that a lot of people can't get sex and would benefit from paying to get it, that's not living in reality. The reality is most people are sexually stifled, frustrated, inept, and there's something called a sex surrogate, which again,
yeah,
funny.
I think I talked to one once. I feel like I have a memory about talking to someone.
Well, I mean, and again, if you just rephrased it, it's a prostitute. It's someone who's helping you come.
No, her whole take was like she goes in and helps the couple and.
Okay, that's not a sex surrogate. That sounds like a therapist. But
she would have sex with the people.
Oh,
no, do you know about this?
No, with both of them?
Yeah.
She'd have sex with the wife and the husband?
Yeah, it was like the idea was like...
That's a full service.
And I had this conversation. So it was something like this, and I'm just paraphrasing for the sake of conversation. Husband and wife, they've been together. They don't want to get divorced. They don't want to have affairs, but they're kind of stuck in their intimate life. She comes in and teaches her how to get him off, and she teaches him. But the only way to do it is she's got to kind of be in the bed.
There's a great movie about that. When I say great, I mean not great, but funny because it doesn't know it's not great, but it's still amusing. It's with Meryl Streep and Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay. And Martin Short is in this?
No. Steve Carell.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of it, but Meryl Streep and Tommy Lee Jones are a married couple. They've been married for 1,000 years. He comes home at night and he falls asleep in front of the Golf Channel. And she has just had it with this sexless, loveless, peck on the cheek, go to work, fall asleep in front of the Golf Channel marriage. So she sends him to this academy or something run by Steve Carell, where he's got to relearn how to fuck Meryl Streep. And it's just, I mean, it gets at this exact point. And he, of course, is not into the concept, but once she threatens to leave him, he does it. And part of it was she was learning how to fuck him again because they had forgotten. And she's the funniest scene, I bet you she did it herself. Maybe it's in the script, but she's sitting there and she's reading the manual and it's telling her how to do it with a banana. And so she's like starting to just suck the banana and then absentmindedly starts eating the banana. It's a classic.
What's the name of this movie?
I don't know. I forget the name of it, but just Google Meryl Streep relearns how to fuck Tommy Lee Jones, and you will trust me. ChatGPT will have this answer for you just like that.
Yeah.
Are you into the chatter? Are you friends with your chatter? Is that something you think is bad for society?
Are we talking AI or are we talking?
I'm talking both, but I mean, I have my issues, especially with chatty.
I mean, my general thing is using Grok or ChatGPT or even Google, whatever their AI is, for sort of research, like a quicker version of Googling. I'm cool with that because I just assume it's an amalgamation of a vibe.
Oh, there is. I mean, there's great things about it.
But in terms of the furious road that's coming down the line for the arts and AI, well, then I have a ton of opinions on those. But I don't want to bore you with those if it's not interesting to you.
It's very interesting to me. I'm in the arts.
So pick a lane.
I'm in the arts.
I know you are, but you can't be replaced, so you're good.
So far, that is true. So far,
you're irreplaceable.
But and you think you are?
I feel fine, but I'm also very transparent.
It is scary that they have come up with I mean, I have an Elvis track that's not Elvis; it's AI Elvis.
Yeah.
That is a little frightening.
Oh, it's what I've been saying because I get asked a lot about it in music interviews. Is my general thing is it's over. It's already over. The world you thought of music, just start with music. It's over. It's already over. You don't see it, but it's over.
Well, you're going to have to put some meat on that bone.
Okay. You're 15 years old. Okay. When you were 15 years old, when I was 15 years old, it was the garage playing the Led Zeppelin into infinity to learn how to play something, right? Okay. That's over. If you're 15 years old now,
right.
Okay, that time you're using so you can watch more porn, if you can press a button, and that thing can write a song for you or tell you,
right.
Even if it gets you 87% down the road, and then you use your intuition and whatever talent you have to kind of finish it and say it's yours, it's over. It's over.
And that's where we are.
5 years from now, so we're in 2025 when we're doing this interview. 5 years from now, the music landscape will be completely devastated by AI on every level. Every level. Now, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. You will have a bifurcated society of people who do organic music, and they're literally going to say, I'm an organic musician, this is what I do, I'm not using all this technology. And there will be this other world that won't give a shit.
I mean, organic, it sounds like the next generation from acoustic.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like
but people will be celebrated for being...
No, it's funny because it really will be a recapitulation of Dylan Went Electric. And that's one reason why I thought that movie was so great, because they picked just that one moment, which I'm sure that eluded some people who were not around for it, or maybe it got to the smart ones who could put themselves in that moment. But I mean, even I was too young in 1965 to appreciate what was going on. But the idea that the old guard, the folk, because he did start in the folk world, were just... It just seems so quaint now, apoplectically appalled that Bob Dylan, the great hope of future folk music, the guy who was going to carry the banner of Woody Guthrie and those types, he went electric. And of course, the world was like, great, because that's a great record, like a Rolling Stone with the great organ and the electric guitar. And you're right. The audience, and by the way, the audience has no responsibility to give a shit. They just want to be entertained.
That's why I say it's over.
Right.
Right.
And they're not going to give a shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying, it's over.
And I'm that guy. I always say it. I'm just a young man in the 22nd row. I'm just, because I have no musical ability, which is so liberating. So I can just like what I like and not like what I like. Yeah. And not worry and not about does it matter? Is it important music?
That's kind of what I'm saying. If there's an AI artist or there's an artist who's using AI to advance their musical cause, you won't give a shit. And
what you're thinking is that they all are by now. They must be.
From what I've heard, there's not a song coming out of Nashville right now that doesn't have AI involvement, particularly with lyrics.
I read in the paper yesterday, cartoon movies. I guess.
How about editing? How about camera work? How about? Every level of entertainment is going to be affected. You pay, do I assume you pay comedy writers? Do you pay comedy writers?
Not personally, but my generous network does, yes.
Okay, good. So the point is whatever your budget is a year for comedy writers, let's say it's $100K. If you can go, well, I don't have to pay those guys anymore, or girls. There's $100K in Bill Maher's pocket. And by the way, I like the jokes better.
I mean, trust me, I've looked into it. No, I haven't, guys. But they are definitely not there yet with comedy.
Okay. How about AI porn?
Because comedy is just so, like, part of it just can't be sussed out with logic. It just strikes you as funny or as it doesn't. And sometimes the more off the wall it is.
Sure.
And AI isn't there yet
with
like being a, so I just can't imagine them writing the kind of jokes I do.
Okay, but also you produce a television show. If you could save $500,000 a year using AI to do your editing or to your sound or
no,
your...
I mean, those are not my decisions. I mean,
no, but you know how the world works.
No, absolutely.
Bottom line.
No, they're going to do it. But the other thing AI can't do is they could, this is going to sound catty, but they could do other shows because they're so predictable in their politics. And that's one of my issues with AI. It is programmed by the woke. And I know this because somebody once asked it, what was my best stand-up special? And first of all, it shouldn't even be giving opinions, but it gave the wrong one, and I know why, because it was programmed by woke.
Sure.
So it picked like one from 20 years ago that was woker because 20 years ago the Democrats weren't funny. The liberals hadn't gone off the deep end on a lot of issues, and it was just Bush. And also, we were 10 years away from gay marriage, and a lot of the special, or at least the end of it, was about how we should have gay marriage.
Oh, okay.
So the AI thing was like, oh, this is the best. And it's not. It's good. I mean, but it's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The one I did in December, way better. But AI can't do that. Just the way, like, why do I use the old iPod, the old one, the wheel one, Bill?
The one where Billy Joel is featured prominently?
Yeah. Among others. Why? Because, like, I like to put my playlist together in a way that, like, none of those services can do. Because they can only, if you say play songs like this, they just take it from the same era. I can play a song 40 years apart from another song.
I see.
And they have the exact same vibe, but they're from completely different eras. And Pandora can't do that.
Right.
So they've got a ways to go. Will they get there? I don't know. But look, we had a good run.
Yeah. We had fun.
I mean, didn't you just play a stadium with 80,000 people?
65.
Okay, well, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. And
no.
And you're going on.
I'm comfortable with all that, but because I have young children, 9, 6, and a baby. I mean, they're going to grow up in a world where AI is going to be pervasive on every level of creativity.
You just had a baby, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And thank God it looks like me.
And how many baby mamas do you have?
Only one.
Oh, wow.
Only one.
You call yourself a rock star?
In fact, as we're taping this today, my wife just turned 33. So I'm.
So you're robbing the cradle too. Were you like you? They're like, and Bill, you like young women. I mean, how old are you?
58.
How dare you? How dare you be? So how old was she when you got married?
We got married 2 years ago.
Oh,
so,
2 years ago.
Yeah, we had kids before we got married. I refused to get married, so I finally capitulated.
So you were with her when she was in her young 20s.
We met when she was 19, and I was
19.
Mm-hmm.
Beats me. I at least wait till there's a 2 in front of their name.
Bill, you're a great, you're a great orator. You're a great comedian. You're a great thought leader.
Oh,
but I'm a rock star, Bill.
That's so true. That is so true. I cannot fight that. You are so right about that. You are a rock star, and you deserve those extra 2 years. That's awesome.
But God bless her, because I don't know what the hell she saw in me. I mean, there's obvious things, but
oh boy, you know what? Stop with the false modesty. I hate when guys do that. I'm so lucky. You should shut the fuck up. You know what? You're a rock star. You're really funny. You seem like a great guy. I mean, you got money. I mean, I'm not feeling bad for her that she has to put up with Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins.
She's done all right.
She's done all right. Yeah, but she and a baby. That's got to be. Is that?
It's a feral baby, Bill. Though.
Feral.
Feral, sorry.
Not feral.
Feral. Well, there was that singer, Feral Sharky, right? So I'm confusing Feral Sharky and Feral Baby.
Do you remember the song, I Might Like You Better If We Slept Together?
I covered it. At Dodger Stadium, opening for Kiss, Halloween night, 1998.
Is that why I remember that?
Maybe.
It may be, because the record itself...
Great record.
Susie and the Banshees?
No, it was Romeo Void. They had 2 hits. I Might Like You Better If We Slept Together and A Girl in Trouble. Bill, I know my rock.
I'm not good.
Great band. Great band. I think from Southern California, actually.
Wow. I Might Like You Better If We Slept Together.
What a great song.
What a great title.
Yeah.
You know, like, title's a big thing with a record, right? You gotta...
Some people are big on titles.
Like I say, title's not...
Some people they say they can't write like an Irving Berlin type writer. They would want the title first. Like, if you knew Susie like I knew Susie, you know what I mean? Right?
Quite an example.
Well, we're going back to Eddie Cantor there.
I was going to say.
No, but I'm saying that's how those guys wrote. It was like that the title had to sell the song, and then they would write the song. I'm not a title guy.
I mean, I think bands throughout the ages have liked titles, but I
wrote Bullet with Butterfly Wings. I mean,
that's a great title.
I think I stole it from Freud, actually.
I remember in the Eagles documentary, Glenn Frey was like, so I was riding with some guy in a car, we were on coke, and he said, "Life in the Fast Lane." And he was like, okay.
That's a good title. I mean, but you want to listen to the song.
But it was almost like, I have nothing but that, but I'm already like 3/4 of the way through with this song.
How about Desperado? How about Hotel California? I mean, what great titles.
Yeah, but...
Are you an Eagles fan?
Very much so, but I don't feel like they get you as much as Life in the Fast Lane. I mean, what's Hotel California? It could be about anything. We love it because we know the song. Desperado, yeah, that's pretty good.
I think Hotel California is one of the great lyrics of all time.
Oh, the lyrics, yeah.
I mean, those lyrics there.
Oh, yes. And Don has been asked about it 1,000 times, and he always says, you know, first of all, he's tired of being asked about it. And he said,
well, I would be too.
It's just about a journey from innocence to experience.
Okay.
Why does that piss you off so much?
No, because I'm empathetic because I know what it's like to be asked about something over and over again, but I don't buy the answer is kind of what I'm saying.
What do you think it's about?
I think it's about L.A. I mean, I think
is.
I think it's the greatest. I call it Dark L.A.
Yes.
Right, Dark. It is the greatest Dark L.A. song of all time.
You're right.
Like I might like you better if we slept together. You could say that's a Dark L.A. song.
No, L.A. is dark. California is dark. Some great writer, I forget, may have been Dashiell Hammett, said, you know, L.A., it's a sunny place for shady people. And
well, Chandler, I mean,
Raymond Chandler.
He encapsulated the darkness of this place. Or even, what's that book? Day of the Locust.
Yes.
Have you ever read that book?
Yes.
I mean, you want to talk about Dark L.A.
And
that book was written in like 1939.
Well, I think if you asked the average person, like, where do you think, you know, the noir movies take place, or like that milieu, they would think, oh, that's a New York thing. No. It's San Francisco.
Right down the street.
It's San Francisco, Sam Spade. Yeah. It's L.A. It's always out here.
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
All of them. It's we're a shady, messy people out here.
Yeah.
You know, but we're seduced by, of course.
Can I tell you about my first LA trip as an adult? Do you mind if I tell you?
Please.
So I came out here as a kid. We went to Disneyland and all that stuff. But when I came the first time as an adult, I was about 21 or so. And I came out with a friend, and we ended up staying with the friend's sister. And, you know, we're off Hollywood Boulevard, and it's all, you know, it's right out of the movies. I'm walking and looking at the stars on the thing. And you know, I have that impression a lot of people have, which is that is that all there is? It's more built up here as a tourist industry, but back in the 80s, it was there wasn't much to see. You know what I mean? You had the stars on the Hollywood Boulevard, to quote Ray Davies. And
I have one.
You do?
Of
Congratulations.
Course. Thanks.
Are you proud of it? Or
Of course not. It's ridiculous. You can buy one.
That's true.
I mean, I think you could. I mean, not anybody, but yeah, it's not. And if you just walk on the boulevard, and yes, that is a great song.
Yeah, Stepping on Bela Lugosi.
Stepping on, yeah. Yo, I know that song very
yeah,
well.
great song.
You know, like, yes, you see a lot of the biggest stars in the world, and then you come across names you just don't even know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, I happen to be near Clark Gable, so I'm near.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad. But everybody's near somebody, and then there's like, you know, Biff Cumstein. You're like, who the fuck was this
Biff
guy?
Cumstein.
Well, what? I don't know.
He was a cameraman for Cecil B. DeMille.
You know, he crossed in a brown sport coat in some movie in the 30s. I don't know. He just, you know, it is what it is. But yes, I was happy to go. It was 2010. I remember the ceremony, and Larry King and Seth showed up, and lots of my friends, and, you know, they give a speech.
I think it's cool.
It's cool. It's, you know, look, I love Hollywood. I love all the bullshit. I always say I'm in show business, but I'm not of it. Because I'm not really like them, and I'm not really in any category. But like when I go to the Vanity Fair Oscar party, to me, that's like going to Disneyland. To stand in the middle of a room, and everywhere you look is a star. Because the stars in this town, they do not come out at night. I don't know what people think.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of them do work.
That's why. Exactly. Yeah. It's a working town, and movies
always has been.
Has been, and movies start at 6 a.m.
Yeah. That's a cruel business for that.
Here's the problem with mental health. Most people agree you should get therapy, right up until you try. Then it's a nightmare. Finding someone, scheduling, paying for it. By the time you get an appointment, you don't need a therapist, you need a drink. That's why I want to tell you about Rula. Rula makes mental health care actually accessible. They take most major insurance, and the average copay is just $15 a session. 15. That's less than parking in LA. And therapy lasts longer than a meter. With Rula, you answer a few questions, they match you with a licensed in-network provider, and you can meet as soon as the next day. And every provider is vetted. Real professionals, not some rando with a laptop. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey toward improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to rula.com/random to get started today. After you sign up, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Go to rula.com/random and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares. Club Random is brought to you by Radioactive Media, named the 20th fastest growing private company in the Pacific region by Inc. magazine, which means they must be doing something right. Now, sure, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, we try to prepare for those, but economic uncertainty, that's a little harder to plan for. So if you're a business owner, you can either panic or you can try something that actually works. That would be audio marketing. Podcasts and radio now reach more people than social and digital combined. Yeah, and unlike social media, you're not competing with cat videos and your aunt's political rants. Radioactive Media knows how to build campaigns that cut through the chaos, and they believe in audio so much. They're advertising themselves with it right now, which honestly is more convincing than any PowerPoint you'll ever sit through. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text RANDOM to 511-511. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today. Message and data rates may apply. You know why so many male actors of a certain era look terrible now, and I look pretty good? Because I don't spend all day in the sun.
Yeah.
And they have to. You're on the set all fucking day. There's only so much sunscreen in the world. And you're just out there, and you're just baked.
Yeah.
This is a working town.
Yeah.
The people it's not a party town, but like on those few nights when the stars do come out,
yeah, it
is fun to look around the room and be able to talk to all of them. And of course, it's show business. Most of them are pretty stupid, but they're talented. The people are so talented, and there's notable exceptions. But thinking just ain't their thing.
I always find people that are in the zeitgeist fascinating.
Like, who would be
Doesn't
that?
matter. I mean, pick your Hollywood party.
Taylor Swift.
Sure.
Zeitgeist. That
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I have my opinions on that whole thing at this point, and I probably should keep them to myself so I don't get attacked by the Swifties. But
No, I say it all the time. I find her as a person so admirable. She never does anything I find to be like in any way objectionable. She's classy. You know, you never get her with a bad picture. She seems very responsible, very smart, a good sense of humor.
As a business person, first of all,
witty.
she's very talented. So I'm going to say that real quick. As a musician, from a musician to a musician, she's very talented.
Okay,
But-
I don't get the music, but that's just that's
But
just
just
me.
take it from me, she's very, very talented.
I'm sure she is.
But I was going to say is, as a business person, she's brilliant.
Brilliant. Yes.
I mean, it's a total coup what she's built.
Absolutely.
So you can only marvel at. In fact, quick statistic that I heard behind the scenes: the demand for her concert tour, the stadium tour, was 900 stadiums. They could have sold 900 stadiums full of tickets. Now that is an accomplishment.
No, I always say that too. Like, even if you don't personally appreciate something on the artistic level, it doesn't tickle you, you got to give it up for success. You just have to, or else.
Well, that's what I mean. I like the glow of the zeitgeist because I feel like it says something about the American
and
public. Like,
look,
for example, why her this generation? Why Barbara Streisand another generation?
Look,
why Hedy Lamarr? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Hedley Lamarr. Hedley Lamarr.
Yeah, from Blazing Saddles.
Thank you. No, but I'm saying is, what is it about an age that picks certain people?
That's such an interesting point, and you're right about her. And look, she's a little whiny about her exes, but in general,
It's been good for business, Bill.
Today's young women have a worse role model? Absolutely. As role models go, I'm very happy with them having their Taylor Swift. Now, do I think it's pathetic that they lived their lives so much through her, that they were like in tears when she got engaged? Yes, I do, because I don't think it's healthy to live your life so much through another human being
you have your
who
own,
you'll never meet.
Are there Bill Maher groupies? You know what I mean? No, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, you have your like kind of groupie contingent?
I don't investigate this, but somebody showed me on one of the dating sites, there is a category like you can on your interest, Bill Maher, and there was a lot of people.
Like Daddy Bill or?
No, just Bill Maher. And I thought that was flattering, but I'm not.
Because I'm getting some of that now that I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
You know, my social media person will show me, and it's like they start calling me like Daddy Billy.
Oh.
I wish that Billy was my daddy, but not like that daddy.
That's more like a zaddy.
Well, I don't know what zaddy is.
Zaddy's a guy who's like a daddy figure, but also sexy. You know, it's like a zaddy.
I was named People Magazine's sexiest man at 50. Like they picked everyone from a certain age, so I got 56.
Friend of mine who's around your age or my age, somewhere in between, like he said to me recently, I won't say what field he's in, but show business, and he said, you know, this girl came up to me and said, "You're so iconic." And he said, "Can you believe it? I'm getting iconic pussy now."
Oh.
And yes, that's what you would get.
Yeah. Well, I'm married.
But you're happily married.
I'm very happily married.
Very happy.
I'm happy to say I'm happily married.
Yeah. Well, I know you had a rough childhood, so that must be great for you that you can find that kind of stability that was lacking in your earlier years.
I will candidly say that I had a very incredible artistic life, and I thought I'd kind of seen it all twice, and you know, Dark L.A. and all of it. And no, I did. I mean, I lived it all, the good and the bad and the crazy, and until I was happily married and I had my own family, I didn't really appreciate what I'd done and built. And now that I have that balance, now I have so much more zest and zeal for my musical life. It was the thing that and maybe because I didn't have it as a kid with my family, because I never really knew what it was like to have a family. I mean, I had a family, of course, but I'm saying I didn't have the stability that this marriage has brought me. So having that now, it's like I finally feel like, okay, this all makes sense. You know, if you do something like you chase a career, you know, which is a dirty word in my business, career, you're not supposed to say the word career. But if you do all that and you do accomplish something, and people say, "Oh, you're this," and you know, I love this album, but you always kind of feel this kind of hollowness about it, but you don't really know what it is. And I realized it was because I didn't have the one thing I really wanted, which was a family.
I still don't really see how they interact with each other. Like, I get the tension, because I certainly have felt it in my own life, between career and love.
Sure.
To me, those are the two things that were always vying. And I might say, if I go back and analyze my own life, the fact that I was dumped so hard in high school, and it broke me so badly.
What was her name?
No, we're not going to go into that.
Make up a name for me.
No.
Sally.
Yeah, Sally. Sally 10 Fingers. She had 10 fingers. Yeah, I know, that's not really that weird. Anyway, Sally, and I feel like from that moment on, I was like Scarlett O'Hara when she says, as God is my witness, I'll never go hungry again.
I see.
I was like, as God is my witness, I will never get my heart broken again like this, and I will put my eggs in the basket of what I can control, which is my career.
Okay.
That is what will make me happy.
Because
I can't count on this other thing.
Looking back now, not saying the dream is over, but do you feel that was the right decision?
Great question that, I probably should think about more, and there's a lot to be said. It's not a 90-10, it's a 50-50 kind of a thing.
Because you were poking around about me, like you were saying, trying to understand it. No, but I'm saying is I'm trying to sort of answer your question. Why I'm asking you one.
No, it's a great question. I mean, look, I'm not going to get too specific. It all just came out in the wash. I'll just put it that way. I think I was never meant to through the very formative years of my life, and that probably goes on longer than it should have. Was never going to be tied down anyway. It just wasn't my nature. And part of that, is, again, rock star, you're probably so inundated that, you get it all out of your system quicker.
That's true. That's true. No, I remember a point. I was actually out here. I was working for an extended period of time. And it was the first time in my life where I was just going to it was like, okay, I'm going to live free.
Right.
And I would meet people and I would say, look, don't ask. I don't want to be tied down.
Right.
I'm being totally transparent about this. I'd never really been that way in my life. And I was surprised how many women were like, okay, cool. Most of them, of course, thought they were going to try to reel me in on the back end. I'm sure you've had a few of those. And it got to the point where the bloom went off the rose of what I thought freedom was. Freedom to me was do what you want when you want to do it.
Right.
And as long as you're having a good time and everybody's
right,
it's all adults and everybody's cool. And I lived like that for a while. And I woke up one day and I was like, this is boring. And I never. And to be fair to anybody, and I'm not bragging. There's no brag in this. I got to the point where it's like, this isn't really what I'm after.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I disagree on the boring. It never gets boring. What you hit on there, which I think...
Bill, let me tell you a story. Okay? Because I'm going to agree with you on this one point. Okay. I was with this girl.
And a circus animal.
No, just a girl.
Okay.
Just a girl. And we're in flagrante, in bed. And she says to me, can you lick my back?
Sure, as one does.
And I said, and she was pretty hot, so I was like, okay, if that's what you want.
I've done it without asking.
Okay, good. And it was like one of those, when somebody asks you to scratch it back, it's like, no, a little more up to the right and to the left. And in this one spot in her back, she could orgasm from having her back licked in this one spot.
Do you have her number?
Actually, I do. And the way she explained it to me, and God bless if she ever hears this, she's a very nice person. The way she explained it to me is that sometimes, and I'm not a doctor, so, but apparently, certain nerves get rerouted.
I'm sure.
So it's how some people can orgasm by, say, having their nipple licked. But sometimes that nerve reroutes to a different spot in the body. So in her case, the nerve was in her back. So as long as you lick this one spot on her back.
That's almost
So that never got boring, Bill, let me tell you.
that's almost the plot of Deep Throat.
Is it? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Linda Lovelace,
Do you
right?
remember Deep Throat?
Oh, yeah, it's the first pornography I ever saw, Bill.
And the one that was the first sort of crossover. I mean, it was a national sensation. And what was the plot of Deep Throat?
She could orgasm by...
her clit was in her throat.
Right. Well, maybe it was just the nerve rerouting, you see.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost the plot.
Yeah.
But
so I lived that.
I mean, I
So I'm
think
saying is that part didn't get boring.
a back on a woman can be like the sexiest part. Like
I see. You know what?
I don't find
Despite all your bluster, Bill, you're really a romantic.
I do not find a beautiful back. I do not find any less sexy than the front, and sometimes more. And so, like, I know you're not allowed to show the front, but you are allowed to show the back, which I always thought was like, great, that's fine. Just show the back. I'm good. Okay. Is this too intimate for you? You brought up licking backs. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's how I feel.
I'm processing it all, Bill.
No, I see that. But what was the important point that we were getting to that I really...
You were trying to understand the connection between me not finding peace by having a successful musical life,
right.
and then how love or marriage, successful marriage, how they sort of fit together.
That's why it's so important that one of us isn't smoking pot.
Yeah. Is that, am I paraphrasing you?
Yeah, perfectly. And that is really what's in my mind, because that I'm trying to get that connection, because you're basically saying, unless I'm getting it wrong, that you weren't able to appreciate, your massive career success before you had the love. And I get that the love is you could then find the love and be like, oh, and this is even better.
No,
but why? I don't know why you couldn't access the satisfaction from the career before you.
I can tell you why.
Okay.
I had $1 million by the time I was 24 years old. Okay. A year before that, I was making $12,000 a year working at a record store, and I was broke. Okay. So I'm we grew up in a time where millionaire, these days millionaire doesn't mean as much, but the word millionaire still meant something in my brain when I was 24 years old. So I have $1 million when I'm 24 years old. By the time I'm 26 on MTV, Platinum Records, Saturday Night Live, cover Rolling Stone. I mean, I basically did, by my mid-20s, like most of the checklist.
All the boxes,
okay.
Yes.
And I never felt this sense of satisfaction about it. And I couldn't quite understand why, because everybody around me is like, this is fucking incredible. And I was like, it is and it isn't. Okay, so to answer your question, the problem with all of it is it's transactional. Because no matter how many hit songs you write, it's always, what about the next one?
Yeah.
No matter how many records you sold, there's always somebody who's going to sell more records than you. No matter how good you are, there's always somebody telling you, writing online, that you're the worst thing that ever happened. There was always like a asterisk or a qualifier. And even my band at times was transactional with me. I mean, I would write these massive songs and they were kind of like, they didn't give a shit. It was weird.
Why?
Well, that gets into band psychology, and we could talk about it if you want. But just to finish the little spiel, only unconditional love in some facet of your life gives you the proper perspective to appreciate what is great about transactional things, but allows you to see them for what they are, which is transactional. There's no Valhalla at the top of Rock Mountain. There isn't. And I've been there multiple times.
Right.
So when I stand in front of 65,000 people, in my hierarchical mind, my family is still above that.
Right, sure.
I tell my kids all the time, and they're still little kids, and hopefully it'll endure in their brain. I tell them, because they'll come see me play. They'll come on stage with me. I mean, we pull up to where the Mets play in New York, and my daughter goes, how many people am I going to dance in front of today? And I said, well, 41,000. She goes, okay. And then an hour later, she's on stage with me dancing in front of 40,000 people. They're having these immense peak experiences. But I tell them over and over again, no matter what you see Daddy do, no matter what you hear about Daddy, good or bad, you're more important than that. You are so much more important than that to me. I would trade all of this for you. Only unconditional love sort of clarifies what's great and not great about it. And if all you have, and because I came from nothing, it was about, am I on MTV? And if I'm not, I was devastated because I must be doing something wrong.
Well, I get all that because it's ephemeral. Stardom, like beauty, like a lot of things.
You started talking. We started talking. Within the context of the political thing. I mean, you were somebody who stood up for decades and talked about free speech and free
Still
thinking.
do.
And a political part of this country, because you're not willing to march in lockstep, suddenly all the things that you've contributed, suddenly it's out the door. But you've been doing, how many years have you been standing up there in the political maw?
Yeah, 32.
Okay.
On TV, yeah.
So the world we grew up in, that should mean something. Like, well, I'm mad at Bill Maher today, but it has some perspective.
And
now we live in you're either swinging from a rope or you're Chairman Mao.
But yes, but there are still lots of people who appreciate it.
Well, I'm with them.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and that's who I do it for.
Okay.
And you're right. There are others who went for the exits when you don't fully just go for the team, and that is, first of all, it's not helpful. It's not going to elect the right people, and it's worst of all, boring.
It is boring.
It's boring to be predictable. It's what my friend calls "let me guess" politics. Something happens, and let me guess. It's like when there's a shooting. Like right before they even check anything, they know who did it. They know whose side the person was on. Let me guess. Or Trump does something. Let me guess. It's boring and it's not sophisticated. It's just not sophisticated.
Well, that's why I took myself out of the political discourse, because I couldn't. I've had a very unique life, and it's not everybody agrees, but the point is, I've had a unique perspective. I've been in the White House. I've met smart people like you. I've been behind the wizard's curtain 500 times. I have a very unique perspective on the way the world works. It's not for everybody, but you can't say I don't have a unique perspective. Not many people have climbed up that particular mountain for that length of time. And when you can't have a nuanced, intelligent discussion that's not even trying to make a point to somebody, just like, let's just talk, and hey, by the way, based on my experiences, this is the way I read the football field.
And that's why I love to have people like Charlie Kirk sit there as he did, because I'm not going to agree with most of what he says.
Yeah.
First of all, he was very Christy and all that.
Yeah.
I'm an atheist, but it's okay. He's a human being and not a dummy. And unless people get it through their thick fucking skulls, you're going to have to talk to people. Let me tell you something, Bill. We've had over 200 guests here sitting in that chair. I would guess at least a quarter of them say something that is full-on bonkers, in my view.
Okay.
Like we didn't land on the moon. Okay. Shit like that.
Or
and maybe
I licked her back and...
Or that is the least crazy thing. You're not in that category.
Okay.
So far. I mean, I don't know.
Well, we got a few minutes.
Yeah, we got a few minutes. But if you start just dismissing people for anything other than just the most kind of egregious, I'm a Nazi and I'm proud of it. Although even Kanye has survived, and I'm not for canceling him either. Mm-hmm. He sat here once. We didn't air it because I would have been canceled. Or, I'm a cannibal, not like an Army Hammer cannibal who was not a cannibal, and he sat here, and I was happy to rehabilitate him. But an actual cannibal, unless it's something like so out there, you just got to get over yourself and talk to these people. And for all those assholes who are like, I can't believe you talked to Trump. Okay, I'm not even going to go into why that's such a stupid opinion, but just where does it end? All right, I can't talk to him. Who's next? People who voted for him? Can I not talk to Joe Rogan?
Right.
Can't even talk to him. What about Sylvester Stallone? He's such a great guy. Stallone, Rocky. Really? I can't talk to him? Fuck off with this bullshit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We got back onto that. I really didn't want to. I really didn't want to.
No, I wasn't trying to lead you there.
No. It's on my mind. It's on our minds. It's terrible. Let me tell you something. I got off the road. I'm so glad I did last year. I mean, at the end of last year. I wouldn't want to be out there right now. It's getting a little chippy. It's getting a little chippy out there.
Yeah. Well,
and
let's hope from this moment that there's no more of that.
If I were you, I would stay out of it.
Oh, I know I do.
You're in front of 65,000 people. That's not a security.
No, I leave it to.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, and I don't, because at one point I wondered if I was compromised, meaning like, should I be saying certain things when I feel, like a day like today? It's like, should I say something or not?
But
or just let me finish. No, but because I want to make sure I'm clear, because I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. My best contribution is art.
Yes.
You're a person who lives in the political firestorm weekly.
It's my job.
You chose that.
Yes.
And
correct.
You're great at it, and you talk to people behind the scenes. You have very illuminated people on from every walk of the political stripe. Okay. So I'm more of a leave it to the people who are in the fight. And I use that word loosely because obviously
I want you to, because first of all, you're an eloquent elliptical lyricist. Let that speak for itself. Yes. You don't need to give them a reason when you're in front of a crowd like that.
Well, I also came to the conclusion that I'm never going to exactly say what I want to say, not in a song. Like my gift is to say it in a song.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes. So if I really want to contribute, then write Imagine or Bullet with Butterfly Wings. That's my contribution. That's what the God that I believe in animated me to do. The other stuff is really for people who want to be in it on a daily level, and I can respect and appreciate that even if I don't always agree.
Right. So you were talking about unconditional love.
Sure.
And kids, I can kind of get that. Because, what's the worst thing a kid can do? Mm-hmm. They're feral, but, they're not like really capable of like murder or anything. But you think you can have that with a human?
Yes.
Because like unconditional, so like if you killed somebody, she'd stay with you? Is that what? Because like I feel like with adult humans, it's a kind of a tough argument to make unconditional, because you can think of things someone would do where you kind of would want the other person.
Okay, can I answer that? No, but let's see. No.
Why I brought it up?
No, but I want to, because I feel like I got what you're asking. I think to ask another human being to live up to a standard of perfection. When we say unconditional, and you bring up like a thing, like, okay, well, if you murdered somebody, is she going to stand next to you? That type of thing. I think the one thing I would say is you're right to point that out. And if you're going to ask me, is there anybody on this planet that I trust 100% that aren't my children? The answer is no. Now, I trust my wife more than most.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's very, very high. And I've made that commitment. But the thing I would try to explain to you is once you have children, it's the highest bond you can have with another human being.
I get it.
So that's the closest I've ever come. And if you want to sort of give a kind of standard to it, I didn't have it with my father. I didn't have it with my mother. I didn't have it with my stepmother. I didn't have it with my immediate family. I have a very good relationship with my brother, and I trust my brother a lot. So outside of my brother, and his kids, and his wife, and my wife, and our kids, it is all transactional on some level. And I've had the experience, however horrible it is, where I was a kid, ignored by members of my family. I got successful. Suddenly everybody was really interested in what I had to say. And then when my career went down, they all disappeared again. That's a tough one if you've lived it. So this is the closest I've ever come. And I'm not a person who's waiting around for perfection. I think at 58, I think I've got enough road beneath me to say, okay, if this is as good as it's going to get, and it's really good, okay, I'm going to trust that. And if there's still that 4%, 7%, well, that's all I can tell you is when we got down, because I didn't want to get married, and I was very transparent with my wife. I said, do not want to get married, because I'd been married before and went through a bad divorce and all that. And I was just like, I don't want it. I don't want the state of Illinois in my fucking bullshit. Okay? Especially when you're talking about songwriting, copyrights, and all that shit. And my wife said, we talked a lot about it, and she was very intent on getting married, and it's not important why for this. But the one thing that became clear was that she said, look, I know you're not big on trust. I understand why. But I'm telling you, when we get married, our relationship will get better. And I couldn't for the life of me imagine how. And I'd been with her for 8, 9 years at that point, and we had kids. I couldn't conceive of it intellectually. And I'm telling you, the day after I got married, I looked at her and said, motherfucker, you're right.
Why?
Because it brought us just that little bit closer. Because we were willing to take that leap of faith. And at the end of the day, I mean, you're here because at some point you bet on Bill Maher. You said, I got something that nobody else has got. And I'm sure somebody told you, you ain't that funny, Bill. And I heard, you ain't that great. My own father told me I couldn't fucking sing, and I'm sure there's somebody out there who would agree with him. But, 30 million records later and 3,000 concerts later, I guess I do something, right?
Right.
So I had to navigate all that. And it's ultimately I think life is ultimately about faith. And in that, and I know you're not a religious person, that's where I think you could at least kind of find common ground with spirituality, which is like, it is ultimately about faith. Like when people say, well, how do you know there's a God? And I go, I don't fucking know. I can't tell you that.
Yeah, that's what faith is.
That's what faith is. Now, if you want the guy to crack out of the sky and go, like Mel Brooks, like, here I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm God.
That's an interesting story that it happened that quickly, like the wedding night. You were like,
I felt it.
Yeah.
And it's held. And not to be so glib as to say it's like a percentage, but
Yes.
wherever we were on the line, the
Right.
day after I was married, we were closer, and we've gotten closer since. So that's all I know.
Well, you probably felt good about giving her the thing that gave her peace of mind.
She would say, I'm a guy, I complain all the time. She goes, how many fucking kids do you want? Like, I gave up my body, 9 months at a time.
Right.
This is my test. If you want me to prove it to you,
Right.
I can't.
Right.
But I can point to them
Right.
and say, there's my living testament to how I feel about you.
Right.
So that's all I know. And I'm not saying this for everybody. And I would have told you 3 years ago it wasn't for me.
Right. I mean, that was always my issue with marriage, was like, if it doesn't work out, it's like you've purposely put yourself in this prison that is very hard to escape from. And that's sort of the argument that they use for getting married. I mean, I've heard people say that in just so many words.
What, to be imprisoned?
Well, not imprisoned, but that we want to get married because it would make it very difficult to break up.
I see.
They feel like they have to put this stricture on them.
I think that's the worst reason.
Okay, but a lot of people do it for that reason.
Well, to me, that's a weak argument.
If somebody says, you have a big fight, I'm leaving, and you can't, we're married. You can't just leave. They like that. They then have to work it out, because otherwise it's lawyers and money and divorce and terrible, that's a big reason why people get married.
Yeah, I had a meeting yesterday with someone about a film project, and the guy said at the end of the meeting, he's like, look, if we're going to do this together, I need final cut on this project. And I'm going to say jokingly, because I like the person, this is a Chicago way of saying it. It's like, motherfucker, if you need final cut, it ain't going to work.
Right.
If we're not in this together, I don't care what the fuck you got on a piece of paper.
Right.
And that's the same thing I would say with the right marriage. If you need a piece of paper and a fucking ring, like, that ain't fucking going to work.
But then you did it.
No. Now, there are legalistic reasons, and there are sort of, let's call it performative reasons. We present like we're married.
I just think women like it.
Sure.
They do. They just like it. It's just, it's like they feel like, I know.
Okay, you just had Woody Allen in here. Right?
Yes.
Okay. My wife, not that long ago, when she was working as a maitre d' in New York for a restaurant,
a maitre d'.
Mrs. Woody Allen would call and make a reservation. And she knew it was Soon-Yi. That's Woody's relationship.
Sure.
And I think she even knew Soon-Yi for some New York thing. And she would call and she'd say, this is Mrs. Woody Allen.
Of course. Oh, I've known that from many. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. We don't know what area, but I'm just saying, in some of the wealthier neighborhoods out here, that's a very important thing, that the wife, who sometimes doesn't even like the husband anymore, but they want to be able to call the restaurant and say, I'm Mrs. Blankety
Mrs.
Blank.
Bill Maher.
Because,
Mrs. Bill. This is
well,
Mrs. Bill Barr.
yeah, well, that's not going to happen. But it's stature. I mean, we still have that in
Sure.
society. It's a certain stature, and it's a certain. I know we're all in the future. We're living in the future, and everything is not like it used to be. But women still are all about, not all of them, but a lot of them are all about, I got a man. I mean, you know, these women who have like three names, that have their first name and then their maiden name and then it's a dash.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yes, exactly. It's a way to say, I'm an independent woman and also I got a man. Okay. And I don't want you to forget, I got a man. Okay, bitch. Did you get a man? Because I got a man. His name's Clinton or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put that at the end of my independent name. And that's just human nature. You
So
know?
Maria Lopez Maher.
Maria Lopez. I don't know her Maria Lopez. But yeah, anyway.
Have we run out of gas,
Great.
Bill?
I have to get back. It's one of those weeks. That's why.
God bless.
It's just one of those weeks.
God bless.
Where, like last week, everything was easy. Like the editorial, just like Monday night, it was almost all done. This week, it's just, some weeks it just get harder. And then this
Full moon.
big story today
It's
that
true.
happened in the
There's a
middle
lot
of
to
the
talk about this week.
I really do. And I'm, you know, I don't try to get too emotional about things, but there is something about having somebody who was sitting right there and you just got to know as a human being. And then, I mean, death in itself is just a weird thing.
What's weird, and I don't mean this in any other way than the way I mean it. What's weird is we get fixated on how somebody dies. Like, would it have been better if he got hit by a bus? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, death is death, and that's the sorrow of it.
Actually, it would have been better because it would mean that there aren't this seething group of people on both sides who think the answer is to shoot each other. So yes, it would, Bill, have been better if he was hit by a bus. It wouldn't have been good, but it wouldn't have been like this.
Yeah.
This is just a place we keep heading towards, and we don't want to keep barreling down towards. That's where my mind is at today.
So let me ask you.
And also just the idea that, you know, you got to stop seeing people as the other. You brought up that whole sectarian thing before. You're so right. In Rwanda.
Yeah, remember they were on the radio saying, go out and hatchet your neighbors. I mean, they were literally.
Because they were vermin. Because same thing with Hitler. Because when you make the people who you don't agree with,
yeah.
The other, the deplorable, the people who you don't even deserve to live.
Yeah.
That's when this shit starts.
So let me ask you, because you are in the fray on a daily level, what's one thing that you think needs to happen immediately?
Both sides have to admit they do it. Stop with the, yeah, but, you know, the right wing, absolutely true. The right wing has been terrible. There's a lot of right-wing lunatics and nationalists and fucking violent people and marching in Charlottesville and lots of bullshit that goes on and killing. We can't have that argument because plainly the left does it too now. I don't care who started it. Everybody both started it always in these fights. It escalates. It goes up and up and up and up and up. And then we're just on these two sides screaming at each other. Stop it. It has to start with everybody is doing this now and everybody has to stop now.
So I mean, we're basically a two-party political system.
Yes,
you agree with that?
A two-team. It's not even about party.
But I'm saying is, do you think there's enough will in the political leadership on both sides of the political aisle to whether they have to go into a room and say, hey, we really got to dial this down? Do you think there's enough political will there?
No, because Trump's not going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not going to do that. And the Republicans who sat there with their arms folded when Biden said, political violence has no place. And they were like, yeah, that's not really worth clapping for as long as a Democrat said it. No, I don't think these people are going to change yet. You know, I mean, I have a very pessimistic view, so I don't want to bring everybody down, although I probably already have with a little bit of this discussion. But, you know, I just don't see this country coming back until Charlton Heston finds the Statue of Liberty almost buried in the sand with just the remember the Statue of Liberty in the end of the movie and then like, okay, it kind of has to hit rock bottom first, and
Okay, so how far are we from rock bottom?
we're barreling toward it, but we're not there yet because America is still a great fucking country. Even with all the bullshit, you mentioned other places in the world, would you want to live anywhere else?
Well, when things started to get hairy somewhere in the last 8 to 10 years, and I sat at many tables with people openly who had success and wealth, they would sort of have these kind of general discussions like, if something gets bad, where are we going to go? And everybody would always come to the same conclusion, which is there's nowhere to go.
Well, a lot of them are going to Ireland and buying castles because that's what people do when they've had it up to here with privilege. They go buy a castle in Ireland. But yes, I mean, Ellen is decamped there, Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, I just read Robin Wright has said she's fleeing. That's her
Robin
word.
Wright Penn.
Robin Wright Penn, yes. Well, I think she's dropped the pen.
Yes.
But, and some other people, they're fleeing. Always the people who lived in...
Would you leave America, Bill?
Fuck no. Fuck you if you think I'm leaving. I'm not leaving. Everything looks good from afar. Get there, you'll find a lot of shit. You know what? Go buy a castle in Ireland. Those castles are drafty. You'll be back, asshole.
But you can't get a castle for cheap. You know why? Why I know that? Because I've looked.
Are you serious?
A rock star, Bill. We look at these things.
Exactly. Rock stars have to have castles.
Last story. Last story. I know you got to go work. Last story. I was working with the famous producer. He's just recently passed away. Great guy, Roy Thomas Baker, who produced all the famous Queen stuff.
Mm.
Roy, very poncy, very English, and he at some point bought a castle, and we were fascinated. The band, like, tell us all about the castle. He goes, oh, it was all right, owning a castle, and he said it was drafty.
Mm.
You think you get a castle, but then you find out you got to get the power, and there's no AC, and right.
The moat is down.
But okay, right. So we're like, okay, and he goes, but that's not the worst part. So what's the worst part? He goes, I had to buy the whole village that went with the castle. And we said, why did you have to buy a village? He goes, well, who the fuck's going to work on the castle?
Right.
So we had to buy the village of the people who'd been living in the village for generations because only they knew how to take care of the castle. That part he didn't like.
People here have bought villages. I think I may be remembering this wrong. Forgive me if I got the name wrong, but I seem to remember Kim Basinger.
She bought
a town in the South. Of all the people, she didn't seem like someone who wanted a whole town. And of course, Jeffrey Epstein had an island. Brando had his own island in Tahiti.
I did look at an island once.
Of course, I'd be so disappointed if you didn't.
It was about $5 million.
Yeah? Where was it?
Somewhere in the Bahamas.
Oh, nice.
Because Steve Miller had bought an island. The Joker.
The Joker.
And at that point, an island seemed like a good idea.
And why did you pull the string on that?
I just had this vision of being on my island. The stars are, it's beautiful tonight. You know what I mean? You turn to your loved one. Here we are on the island. And you're like, what's that boat approaching, with the pirates? I don't know, and we're all going to die because somebody's going to come on my island.
Where you would have been the sole resident of the island?
Yes.
Oh.
That was the attraction,
So there would be but then there's no police department.
That's my point.
There's no...
It's all good. It's all good on the island until somebody shows up, like Max Keaty and Cape Fear,
There's no... There's no hospital.
First you hire him to take care of the island, and next thing you know, your dog disappears. And
yeah. Now that's the thing, you think you're just getting away with $5 million, but then it just, the expenses have just begun. And the remodeling, that South Beach area that has all the driftwood, somebody's going to have...
Now you're following my flow here.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm staying, Bill.
All right. I'm glad you are. You're always such a treat to talk to. You're such a fun guy to talk to. So good luck with the podcast. Tell them all about it.
The Magnificent Others. Interview a lot of musicians, but also start interviewing actors. And, thanks to you. You helped me start that. And it's been a lot of fun. Usually about 75 to 90 minutes. Very deep dives. Like us.
But
you're funnier.
Where's the band playing?
The band is, we're on our way to Asia.
Asia.
Tomorrow. First time in Japan. We sold out the Budokan 25 years apart. So
Wow.
going to play a sold out Budokan show in a couple days. Asia tour.
Now, may I
First
ask-
time in the, yeah, sure.
In the old days, the rock bands would play the Budokan, and the Japanese audience was like famously quiet. Like
Yes.
not because they weren't enjoying, just because it was in the culture.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
No,
Great.
no, it's like any other audience now.
Really?
I mean, maybe a little quieter just because of the culture, but no.
Oh,
MTV and YouTube made every audience is the same now.
shout
Essentially.
out to... good. That's so good.
I mean, you noticed it like in Norway. It's a little quieter, but
But Japan, they're screaming and shouting.
I mean, I mean, Japan's kind of weird in that they're sort of obsessed with the West.
Yeah.
So they're kind of almost cheering because of what they've seen. You know, in essence, they adopted a different cultural take to a concert
Right.
because of the influence of watching how an audience would act in the West.
Right.
I don't think they had an organic moment. They sort of
Right.
said, oh, we'll take that too, like a form of dress.
I just remember like the old school bands like the Beatles playing there, and it was like, wow.
It was very unnerving.
It was... I bet you it was.
I mean, we went, when Nirvana was at their absolute peak around 92, Smells Like Teen Spirit, we went to see them play at a show. And you could have heard a pin drop between songs. And this is when they
Right.
were the biggest band in the world.
Right.
I mean, it was literally like deafening silence.
Okay. How about that for a wrap?
We did all right for
I
a,
think
for,
we-
a for a sad news
my
day.
God, it was like I laughed, I cried.
Yeah.
Club Random is brought to you by Radioactive Media. If you're a business owner, you can either panic or you can try something that actually works. That would be audio marketing. Podcasts and radio now reach more people than social and digital combined. Yeah, and unlike social media, you're not competing with cat videos and your aunt's political rants. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today. Message and data rates may apply.